All right, it's that time of year where I get to sing a Christmas song. So, because this could be the last one of the year, I don't know.
Why isn't it a winter song?
It's winter though.
Why is it got to be a Christmas song?
Well, is it a Christmas song? You never know. There we go.
That chop suey?
No.
Get up!
Well,
Wake up! Why don't you? No.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Don we now a gay apparel. Told the ancient Yuletide carol. La 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 la. See a blazing Yule before us. Strike the hair and join the chorus. Follow me in merry measure while I tell of Yuletide treasures. Fa la 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 la. Then I'm just messing around. Anyway,
wow, that was pretty impressive. I can't say your best one yet because I had to go to my grandson's. My grandson's
your best mashup, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely
best mashup.
They had their holiday thing today, so.
Oh, okay. So your nephew beat me out today.
Well, two nephews. Alex and Zach. And the people, there was all Phillips were standing back, and it's just amazing how people just will push their way. It's just people are just so fucking rude. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, way to start it out.
So fucking. I mean, it's just this one guy. One guy stood in front of my wife. She goes, "Hey, you're in my way." And then he came over towards me, and he's like, I had to kind of like push him. I go, dude, we've been here the whole time. You can't just run up here and stand in our way. That's what I wanted to say. I just wanted to smack him upside the head. I almost did, but I said, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be the bigger person.
Yeah, violence in front of the kids. Yeah, gotcha.
And I'm filming one, and this guy literally walks in front of the camera at my phone, and he's looking at me. I go. And he goes, oh, and and then he turns around and his head's in front, and I go, what are we doing here?
Jack, because you just watched Modern Family, you might remember the episode where Cam hunts down the other mom that ruined his recording of the performance of his daughter. Right. And it's so dastardly too, because he poses as basically her blind date.
Right.
It's
but you know what makes that funny? It's just true. I mean, people are standing in the way. You're like going, okay, we all want to see
being so horrible to prove that she's a horrible mother. It's just it's a great.
Well, that's Cam. Cam is over the top.
Mm-hmm. They are the secret antagonists.
But just we all have to live together. Can we just stop thinking that we're the only ones alive anymore?
Do you really want to go there 5 minutes into the show?
I'm sorry. I'm done. I know Chris took extra gummies or something like that. So
that's okay.
Going back to Wonderful Christmas Time, I think we might have talked about this before. I always like the joke that Paul McCartney was writing like a song about witchcraft or something. It's like because like the whole build up to that song is like a perfect like seance. Like the moon is out.
Spirit's right.
It's all about.
It's the worst Christmas song in the history of Christmas.
But then someone walks in as he's like about to worship, and then it goes simply like I got caught.
Oh, there you go.
There's no telling how much money.
Chris, I think it's you're eating dinner. What are you eating?
Especially after you're at the mall.
What?
What are you eating for dinner? I can't figure it out.
Neither
Hungry Man
on the podcast.
It's chicken couscous.
Couscous,
tomatoes, mozzarella cheese. It's kind of like a bruschetta style.
Oh, it sounds good. All right, cool. Got the couscous. That's all that matters. I never had couscous till a few years ago.
It shows.
Yeah. What are you trying to say? I'm fat?
No, like your background for the listeners that don't join us live, which is basically all of them. You have what is appearing to be a dead fish.
It's a background I used.
And then, not to be too topical, but it also says reward right above it, which makes me wonder:
dead fish. Yeah,
is this a critique on McDonald's?
Oh, the fillet of fish.
Yeah.
No, oh, I get it. I get it.
Is this a critique on McDonald's here?
I see what you did there.
That was pretty good. And people are going, "Oh, he's a rat." And then Burger King said, "Hey, you can come here. We don't turn people in."
Yeah.
With their Twitter account, did that do it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Burger King.
I fucking love it, dude.
Burger King said,
and Wendy's.
We don't
Twitter
turn
accounts. Whoever runs their social media needs a goddamn raise.
Wendy's Wendy's awesome. As well. They were like, should have chosen Wendy's.
Burger King said too. Why go and have lunch with a clown when you can have it with a king?
Ooh.
I said, wow, that was good.
Yeah. Well.
But anyway, I just said, well, the guy should get the $60,000. Jesus Christ!
Sure, right. But yeah, doesn't that?
So what's the reason why they're not getting the reward?
Speak of
there was something. There's something. There was some technicality or something like that.
Bullshit.
I guess he was supposed to like choke him with some chicken nuggets or something like that.
I
didn't do it.
Read the article. Part of it also had to do with like him not using Crime Stoppers, like that disqualifies him from
still did the right thing.
Aspect.
Yeah. It's like that's why like all those there's a story out that's a true story about like Michael Jordan, for example. When they always do those half court shots for like $50,000 or whatever, and I forget what season it is, but it is in the early 90s where like some insurance company was the one that said that they would agree to it. Like, oh yeah, the guy will get $100,000 if it's a half court shot. They pick a random guy out of the audience, he hits the damn thing. And of course, the insurance company's like, well, they always find some bullshit thing.
You mean they deny?
Yeah, they did.
Like he played basketball in the second semester of his sophomore year in college.
Yeah. Are you saying that they deny?
They denied. Yeah.
Did they delay it?
Yeah. And
okay, I don't want to say the third
one. Matt's on a roll today.
But then it was many months later though, that Michael Jordan found out this guy never got his money, and so he just paid it himself. It's just like,
well, that's great.
Well, to be fair, Michael Jordan had made a bet.
He did probably make a bet.
He made $1 million off it. So
right.
I mean, we know
that's why Michael Jordan had to leave basketball for a couple of years and play baseball because of this. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff. Life.
Yeah, that whole CEO thing is fucking crazy, isn't it?
It is crazy. And it's funny, like just the conspiracy part of my brain. Like the first time I saw the video, I went, that's a fucking hitman, right?
He's a pro.
Yeah, I thought it was because the way he's dressed, he's like his face is covered.
Well, he's a pro till he went to McDonald's with a gun in his hand.
Well, that's what made no sense. Like after he, I thought he got away with it scot clean. All of a sudden, he's wearing the same fucking clothes. The gun's still on him. He's got like all the money still. Yeah. And I was like,
he was trying to get caught.
Caught. Yeah.
Or there's a bigger thing happening.
He was a patsy. He was
right. Because if you look at that other original photo, the eyebrows don't match. No. That's what everybody's.
If they don't match, you must acquit.
That's right.
He went. They are not
tweezing the shit out of those things the last 3 years.
Can you wax these things real quick? Okay, thank you.
One other thing about this, which again, I'm
my eyes are twinkling.
Nobody's glorifying killing CEOs out here, but the reaction from the media that's just like, hey guys, let's just be kind of cool about this. Yeah. Like, hey, it's not cool to glorify this.
Yeah.
Well, again,
anyway, that's all they're doing.
I mean, it's murder, and I go, and he's just going to be replaced by somebody else who's going to do the same exact thing. Yeah, I mean, it's just
there was never a moment in time where someone wasn't running the show.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it didn't do anything other than
it brought up people to be talking about it. It's one of the most talked about things in the country right now.
Correct.
Well, is it gonna change things down the road?
No,
not a fucking thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. You can talk about all you want, but
it's a good time to buy in that company right now because their stock.
My health insurance.
So, is that your health insurance company?
Yeah, it's my health insurance.
Wait, at first I thought
Wow.
it was. I'll be honest with you. When I first saw it, I go, "That's Chris."
Well, apparently you guys got a 60% chance of I guess not being denied, but
I mean,
I get
that CEO's. I don't want to. It's just the system has to change. Obviously,
no doubt.
It's not going to change because the people in Washington don't want it to change because they're all getting their feet.
Sure, but the knee-jerk reaction to say that the left is glorifying this or that the left, it's not a left or right thing. This is a class. This is a class thing, and everyone that is not in the billionaire club, and I think that includes everyone on this podcast that listens to it.
I don't want to say it, but the last payment I got from doing this podcast put me over $1 billion. So.
Did it now?
So,
okay, well,
so
now
you know what? I just want to say this. Don't shoot me in the back, but fuck you guys. Sure. I'm a billionaire now.
That cameo you made in Getting Lost doc, probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I haven't either. Yeah.
Well, thanks. It doesn't matter to me.
Well, I would have watched it on that debut, last weekend, but I was in Seattle. So
I got the link to it. It's connected to my Vimeo. Apparently I have a Vimeo account. I didn't know I had one. But I got it associated with my account, and when I have a second, I'll watch it. Whoops.
Clear the room.
Yo, hey, there he is. Cleared off about 3 shelves of that one.
Anyway, we won't have to
obviously
talk about
murder.
It,
wrong.
Murder.
Yeah.
Wrong.
It's fucking stupid. Okay, like that's what it is.
And if you're gonna do it, at least do it where you don't get caught.
He did well. he did consider bombing, but he thought that there was too much risk of
there had been collateral damage, and he was
exactly. And so
what a compassionate guy he is.
What a compassionate person.
Yes,
sure. But did you see what Bill Burr had? Did you see his comments about?
No, I didn't see it.
They're worth listening to because I think he says what I'm trying to get to better, and that is that people are disgruntled with the system.
Yeah, of course.
And this isn't like a left or right thing. This is a class aspect that everyone has felt crushed.
It's a human right thing.
Well, yeah.
Everyone's felt crushed by the insurance system, and it's fucked up. It's you pay into something your entire life, and then when you need it,
they cancel
it. It is no longer there.
Yeah, because that's what I mean. With my house insurance, that happened to me, where I went from paying a very low amount premium to all of a sudden it was like $12,000 a year, and I was like, "Go fuck yourself."
Well, you left your shower on.
That's what it was.
My cousin, I told you about my cousin who had the house fire, and his dogs that had died in the fire, and it was very horrible. And the insurance company that basically, there was at least $200,000 worth of damage, and they the money that they cut for them was $100,000, and they wouldn't cash it because as soon as you cash it, it's just like you accepted it. You've agreed to it. So they had to basically live, kind of on their land very rustically until they could actually fight it with a lawyer, and then they actually got the money, and then immediately
the lawyer got 40%.
And then immediately they're dropped by the
no disrespect to that scenario, but like this is health insurance is different. Like homeowners insurance affects a very small percentage of people overall when it comes down to some shit hitting the fan. But health insurance impacts 100,000-fold more people than homeowners does,
especially when you get older.
Especially when you get older, like I actually have a medication that I take that, guess what? I was denied for. And I actually have. No, I actually just got that reinstated. I had renewed that. I did on Tuesday, actually.
That they said okay to.
By the way, the insurance company has nothing to do with your medical license for weed. I'll get to that in a second, though. I just renewed it on Tuesday. No, but like I have this medication that I take, and it's so fucking expensive. Like it's, I mean, relatively speaking, I think it's like $9,000 a dose.
Damn.
Which is bullshit. Because the only reason it's $9,000 a dose is because the drug companies are saying, well, fuck you, we're making money on this now.
Right.
So they charge the insurance companies X amount, blah, 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 you know. So thankfully, the drug company that makes my drug has like a co-payment, you know, program where it's like a coupon code that you enter and they cover the cost of it, which is just bullshit, right? Like they're just saying, okay, so this.
Well, it's not costing them $9,000 now,
right.
anyway.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
I guess there's development.
This self-injecting syringe costs them 47 cents to make, but they charge $9,000 to insurance.
It's good work if you can get.
I mean, Nick. I'm sure you have diabetes.
Great example.
Mine was nuts. Yeah, like I mean, I've had the same insurance since I was 22. And I started to say this a minute ago, like the way I've always thought about any insurance, doesn't matter what it is I think it's legalized gambling. And I kind of hate how they drop, like what you guys are saying. Because to me, it's one of those things that, you know, I paid a certain premium all of my 20s, you know, and I never went to the doctor in my 20s like a lot of people don't. So I was paying into this for so many years. And then when I finally need it, you know, to me, it should be one of the same principles. Is like I'm betting every year that I'm going to get sick, and you're betting that I'm not. And then when I fucking win, which you never want to win, but when you finally do win, you better fucking pay up. And that's where like a lot of people get pissed off.
It shouldn't even be a gambling thing. It should be I'm paying into this account, and here this money is when I need it.
Right.
I've watched It's a Wonderful Life enough times. I know this. But here's the other thing about insurance companies, and maybe I'm completely wrong, and I'm so naive about how this works. But what if it was a nonprofit organization and they had to never make a profit off of this shit? It was basically just to provide insurance.
But you know, a lot of nonprofit organizations make profit.
Yeah, like the NFL.
Yeah.
Well, the way insurance
like
works,
the NFL.
The way that all insurance works is that, you know, they don't look at you as an individual. They look at the county you live in, the district or whatever, and they do a lump sum based on the risk of that area. Because like I was even saying that too about like my truck is 12 years old. I never hardly drive. I work from home. And when I first moved here, my insurance was $66 a month for my car insurance. It's $99 now. And I called the guys. I was like, shouldn't car insurance go down the older your car is? You know, and they tried to give me some bullshit about inflation.
They say accidents in your area.
It's accidents in your area. That's what it is.
I go, but I haven't had an accident.
You're right. So why am I getting penalized? For,
it used to be they literally went on your driving record, and then I was told when I would turn 25, my car insurance would go down. It actually went up. I go, okay, how did it go up? It's supposed to go up. Well, you know, I go, well, no accidents, no tickets, no, you know, I still had hair.
Yeah, I just renewed my, whatever happened to yearly premiums, by the way? I feel like everyone's
still
doing
do it.
No, do you? Like, I get 6 month premiums now.
Yeah, most people do 6 months. I do monthly. You know, they just divide. It's always the same price for the year, but it's all in how you want to divide it up.
Right.
So I have, who the fuck do I have for my insurance? Progressive, I think I have Progressive. Yeah, I have Progressive. And if you pay full price, if you pay, don't pay monthly, and you pay for it in full for the 6 months, they only offer you 6 months. It's like $200 cheaper.
Right.
So
yeah,
I just paid for 2 cars, I think $950 for a 6 month premium. So that's what, almost $1,900 for a full year. That's for 2 cars, though. That's whatever, but that's how much insurance costs up here.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's awful.
I know. Going back to insurance, when we had our last child, the insurance company calls me up, said, whoever it was, and said, "Oh, you owe us $400 for the anesthesiologist." I go, for what? I go, it's supposed to be covered. They go, well, he charged more than we thought he was going to charge. I go, well, how's that my fault?
Mm-hmm.
And they go, I'm at work at my business, whatever it was at the time, and I go, all right, so he charged more than what you thought he was going to charge, but yet you want me to pay?
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
Nope.
That's what they're. I actually read about that exact example. It's like maybe 3 days ago, where that's what they're doing, especially with anesthesiologists, is that if they have it doesn't matter what it is, it could be a colonoscopy or something. Like, okay, this procedure takes 2 hours, and we are going to bill for 2 hours what it's going to cost that person. But then for some reason it went 3 hours. They're only going to pay for the 2 hours. That's it. And they're saying, nope, you're on the hook for the other hour. And it's like, how's that my fault?
Yeah, I remember I said, going in before, because it was a C-section, going in before, we knew, okay, we're going to have to owe a little bit for this, a little bit for that, a little bit for this. I go, I'm not paying it. They go, well, it's going to turn over to your credit. And I go, okay.
Great.
I go, 7 years will be gone. I go, I'm not paying it. I go, we agreed to this before. I knew what I was supposed to pay before. I mean, this is what, 30, how old is she now? 33, whatever she is, 33 years ago. I go, I'm not paying it. And I'd never paid it. I said, fuck you. I'm not. And they would send things. I go, nope, not paying it. Not paying it. I just would throw it away. I'm not paying it. I just said, take me to court. I'm not paying it. Take me to court. But my dad always said, he goes, back in the day, this was his old saying, is before insurance companies, got involved with he goes, you didn't need insurance.
No, you didn't. Yeah.
You paid your, we had our family doc, Dr. Hilliard, who he just paid, whatever. He goes, but when the government got involved in it, you go to the doctor and there'd be a nurse but there'd also be someone to handle all the paperwork. And Dr. Hilliard told my dad, he goes, well, now I got to charge more because I have to hire another person just to do. So the government getting involved with insurance, the medical thing, screwed everything up, which normally happens. But now it's so fucked up that people are, getting cancer should not be a death sentence twice. It just shouldn't. I mean, because my wife and I were talking about that today, saying they need to get something that I'm all for getting national health care, whatever it takes. And the rich people can still get whatever they want. They can still go get any doctor they want. But anyway.
Yeah, hey, give me some of that European healthcare. I'm all for it.
I know a lot of people.
I'm getting pretty close to saying, give me some Europe.
Give me some Europe.
I don't know if I want Europe, but because I know people from Canada that don't like the insurance up there.
No,
they say
how about their government? They like that?
No,
their government. They don't like. I don't think they like Trudeau, but he's like a dictator, so he ain't going anywhere.
Well,
he's too pretty to be voted out.
It's not an oligarchy,
right?
Anyway.
Speaking of shitty CEOs and weird government shit, you hear that Elon Musk said today that if Congress doesn't put through all of Trump's appointees, that he is going to personally fund the campaigns of people during to be primaried.
He can do it.
Again, that's the problem with having. I know people that give money
to take money out of government.
Well, yeah, I mean that's Citizens United for you right there.
They need to take the money out.
Can I say something? Democrats used to be huge on campaign finance reform. Then Obama came into office and they flipped it, and now they bring in more money, and you don't hear anything about it.
Right,
it's got to go.
Well,
when was the last time we had anyone talk about campaign finance?
Part of that that flip happened too when the Supreme Court ruled. That ruling that happened.
That's what I just said. Yeah. Citizens United.
So,
yeah. I get it.
Probably the worst decision ever. And then it allows for corporations to be people.
These politicians on both sides. I mean, you got what's the
again? That's why I said this is not a left or right thing when they come out and say like this is a class warfare thing where, and the system is never going to allow the people to change the rules
because
in order for us
to have these people have been in the Congress and Senate for 50 fucking years.
Yeah.
Look McConnell, he's a vegetable.
Yeah. No,
didn't he take a fall the other day too?
Yeah, like a week ago or so.
He looks like the guy that plays the fife and the drummer, whatever.
Oh, Turtlehead.
Yeah. I mean, I had a friend.
How is he still in there? And you had when Feinstein was in there, and she's like, "I'm going to go vote."
Sure.
I mean, what are we doing here? Again, the president should have a 6-year term. One term for 6 years.
You think that's going to change in the next 4 years?
No, but I'm saying
I had a friend like an actual, I would say, fairly middle of the road.
I'm supposed to believe you had a friend.
I know it's hard to believe somebody that's my own age outside of us four, but and someone who's voted very liberally, but is also someone who reads both sides. Legit was like, hey, well, maybe with Trump, he will actually do away with some of these term limits. And I said, Trump only cares about the fact that he's not in jail and he's going to make money while the sun shines. That's it, man. Like, he doesn't care about fixing anything. Like, there's no fixing stuff unless it's to benefit him. So I don't see term limits going away anytime soon. It would be great,
even though the majority of the country wants them now.
Same thing with freedom for women to have abortions, but that's gone away. So, anyway,
sort of a yes and no, but that's a debate. But anyway,
it's on the opposite end of where pot is.
Well, I mean, I think most people would be behind legal or at least decriminalization of pot.
Correct. But I'm saying that abortion as a topic is on the flip side of marijuana, where you have like actual Republicans, even in Indiana recently, that were just like, we've lost Jack, by the way, for those that don't know.
Not sure why, but yeah. They
recently were like, hey, all the states around us are making money off of weed. Maybe we should too. And I'm like, please?
Yeah.
This is what we need to happen. If you want to make money off it. And then now we have Elton John, Rocket Man, saying we shouldn't legalize it. And I'm like,
who?
Yeah, Elton John, of all people, was saying that we shouldn't legalize marijuana.
Fuck off.
And I'm like, okay, so it was okay for you to get fucking wasted in the 70s, but we
mountains of cocaine.
Thank you, Rocket Man.
Off, dude.
Thank you, Rocket Man. You can sit down.
Maybe we should
your candle is blown out.
Allowing fucking celebrities who are in their 70s to father children.
Right.
I think he adopted his kids.
I know. He's fathering an adopted child, but like, he's gonna die before he gets a driver's license.
Right.
Are you talking about Jack again?
No.
I'm sorry. Back, Jack. Every time I talk about term limits, my internet goes out.
Those drones that came over from Jersey, they got their eyes on you.
So I don't know what Matt said, but I agree.
Fucking Jersey drones.
We were talking about Elton John coming out against legalization of marijuana. We're like, really?
Oh, wait, really?
This is news to all of us.
No, Elton John.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna find this article. Talk on.
How are you gonna sit there in your ivory tower of white powder and tell me that I can't have weed? Fuck you.
Right.
How old is
Tiny Danza? Tony Danza.
Tony Danza.
Right.
Tony Danza. No, how old is Elton John? Like 70 something?
All right, here we go. I'm going to present this.
He could be just. I mean, he's been.
He's 7. Yeah, he's in his 70s. Yeah.
Here's Rolling Stone magazine headline that says Elton John says Rolling Stone magazine or website now.
Yeah, I'm going to take legal advice from that dude.
Elton John says
he looks like a mix between the woman who makes the Incredibles super suits, and Austin Powers. Like it's like they two of them got together and
Matt Kay's saying he's been clean since 1990. Okay.
There. Well, good for you, but
good. I don't think Matt Kay's been clean. I think he's saying Elton John's been clean.
No. I got it.
I care more about Matt Kay.
I'm just saying that. Okay,
and he was bald at one point, so he's
it's totally fair, totally fake hair. Yeah.
Okay, there's also something about this photo that he kind of looks like a combination between.
Here's a follow-up question. And sorry, Matt, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
And you got me fired up, and my bunch of gummies I took by accident are starting to kick in. Like, like if you are gonna pay a fuck ton of money for whatever, I mean, he probably pays lots of money for many things that he does during his day-to-day.
How many Diddy parties
has
did he go
the fun?
to?
No, scroll back up.
Okay. Sorry.
He has the funds to not only like probably purchase hair, but he has the funds to make his hair look good, and he chose
to get real hair.
Do that.
He has the funds to get real hair.
Like he chose to do
that hair.
His glasses cost more than his hair.
And we're listening to this guy and his stance upon the United States, which, by the way,
he looks
is
like
not where he even lives.
Right.
It looks like if Patton Oswalt.
There you go.
He looks like if Patton Oswalt like mated with John Denver.
Oh yeah. While getting a super suit.
Rocky Mountain High.
Super suit.
So he would be against Rocky Mountain High.
Okay, quote here. I'm glad this is something politically we can all get behind. It's just kicking Elton John. He says, quote, "I maintain that it's addictive," he said in a new interview with Time.
Cool.
The reliable source that it is. It leads to other drugs. And when you're stoned, and I've been stoned, you don't think normally. Legalizing marijuana in America and Canada
weed, bud.
is one of the greatest mistakes of all time.
So basically, he's seen Reefer Madness.
I guess so. I don't know.
It doesn't lead to other drugs. Sorry, Elton.
It makes me question his remake of Candle in the Wind.
Yeah.
I always think Bob Saget and Half Baked, you know.
Damn.
Marijuana is not a drug.
Wait, what? What was that? I'm sorry.
So I always think of Bob Saget and Half Baked, you know. Marijuana is not a drug. Like, and then
right.
You can fill in the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I like Elton's music, but I can't back him on this one.
No. You know what I can back though? I can absolutely back a commercial break.
Well, commercial. Hopefully, it's a marijuana commercial.
Beep, beep.
So speaking of weed,
yes,
I just renewed my certification for my for my medical card. Let me tell you how easy this process is. So you go on to this website called ezmedcard.com.
Wow. Not to be confused with sleazy.
And
that's my favorite one.
And you sign up for a video call to meet with somebody to talk about getting your card reinstated.
Hey man,
to which
shakes again.
You get a phone call at a specific time, and she's like, "Do you need a video, or are you okay with just a call?"
I'd be good with a text right now.
I'm like, Kaylee, you got me. Let's have a call. So I had the call at 9:01, and I was off the phone with a recertification at 9:03.
Wow.
That's just a Massachusetts law thing, right? Though.
It's specifically to our Massachusetts Cannabis Control Commission getting their ID card.
Cannabis control. They just want their money. So
it's $100.
That's what I'm saying. I remember that in California. How when I lived there,
California.
Well, it's always like the first two that out of the gate, they end up having the worst problems, like Massachusetts and California, and that like they kind of set the stage so everyone else can do it later. But the institutions that get placed in order for them to be the first, they can't change them. Because I remember that, like with California, you have to go to a certain spot, and they have like different kinds. They have they have the wholesale.
Dave's not here, man.
They have the wholesale dispensary, then they have the retail dispensary.
Hey man, who's Dave?
And it was all of these stuff that they put in for checks and balances in California. But then when all the other states, like Colorado, it's just so easy. You don't have to have a license. You have to have anything. You just go and get it. They can't change it to that system because then it's kind of like blue laws, in New England, all those things like that. It's like
blue balls.
I thought he said blue balls.
I know.
Blue
No, he said blue laws.
Blue
laws
everywhere.
But it's all
dumb.
It's kind of like in the South. You used to have separate stores, like some for liquor and just some for beer. It's
they used to have a lot of. Well, to be fair, they had a lot of separate stores.
That's true, but but it's one of those things like if you do it to where it's like now all liquor can be sold in grocery stores, then you're putting out all those businesses out of business. So it's like, well, we want to keep them, and that's what California's problem is right now too.
So what's interesting? Is that why they have ABC stores in the South?
Yeah, I think so.
So what's interesting about the whole the renewal thing? I don't actually think the state gets the money from renewals.
Oh,
I may be completely wrong, and if you can't hear me over Jack's chips, thanks, Jack.
He's a good guy.
I may be completely wrong, but like, I paid $100 for my recertification to Easy MedCard, right? Yeah. Which is just like a corporation that is coming in and making money. What they're doing is they're licensing nurse practitioners, and
I hope their CEO doesn't get okay. Go
shit, ahead. I know. And they license it out to nurse practitioners and doctors and such to just have like a virtual presence to go on and talk to people and make sure that people aren't being fucking whatever. I would love to see what the denial rate is, because I don't think it's even higher than 1%. But
probably not.
But this nurse practitioner that I spoke to probably makes, I don't know, maybe $20 a call, right? And they book it out for like however long.
No, sorry.
I have a question. You said the denial rate's only 1%.
I don't know. I would assume it would be.
I'm just guessing that CEO is not getting killed.
Sorry. It was unintentional, but nice. So as an example, like it might be actually a good for small business, because the first doctor that I went to to get my initial get signed up for a card, I went to twice. I went to get the card initially, and I did a renewal with him. And then I stopped because he was charging $200 or $175 to do the research, but he had a value add to his business though. So he's actually like a renowned advocate, doctor advocate, worked for Tufts Medical Center in Boston, was part of the Cannabis Control Commission. He has his whole side business where he has, education classes. He has a bunch of books. He's got tons of stuff. And he's actually a very informative dude. When you go to his office, you get access to this wealth of information, which is kind of cool. Whereas Easy Med Cards, boom, 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 $100, and as evidenced by the duration of my phone call today, they don't give a fuck about the experience as long as you're in and you're out really quick, because that's how they turn a buck. Right. But I don't know, it's interesting. It's the whole business of cannabis is it's completely mind-boggling, but also kind of fascinating to me at the same time.
Come on, that's the biggest. I mean, I don't know. What? Clinton not knowing how to smoke. I tried. I couldn't figure out how to smoke marijuana cigarette.
No, but I learned a ton.
I'm the smartest man in the world.
I mean, I learned a ton from this dude. Right? It's and he's not a big fan of of people smoking, actual smoking joints. Mm-hmm. He is a huge proponent of dry herb vaporing these products. So it's kind of instead of
like you used to do all the time, actually.
Just a good filter, or
I have one right here. So this is actually a dry herb vape thing where you put the weed in almost like a little toaster oven. It's like an air fryer, if you will.
You put the weed in there.
It almost works like an air fryer type of thing, and then it just takes the oils out and
it kind of liquefies it.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really cool.
Chris got excited on that part.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well,
I remember seeing those a while back. Yeah, I'd forgotten.
But I get excited about that shit because he's the guy who showed me and taught me how at certain temperatures, mm-hmm. the chemical reaction is vastly different than even 10 degrees hotter. So your end result of being couch locked, stoned, or taking a 45-minute shower over the span of 2 minutes, that's so wildly different than if you vaped at a specific temperature. There's all these.
You really could have helped Bill Clinton.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to learn. There's a lot. I think the whole industry is fascinating. I think we're just scratching the surface of what it could do for.
Can we just make? What are your guys' thoughts? When are they going to make it legal
I don't think it's going
to happen anytime soon.
I basically got a stoner hard on when I read that local Republicans were considering it. I was like, are you fucking kidding? Can this happen? Because this is bullshit.
It's never going to happen federally. I don't think.
No, I don't think it'll happen federally.
No, it happens state by state. But
why?
Like I said, I think because it's just
what's interesting. Just 1 second, real quick.
Right.
What's interesting locally, though, with the tri-state area that is kind of around me with Illinois, Michigan, and Indiana not Indiana, but Ohio, that are all legal recreationally speaking. Kentucky I think they have medical on some level, but it's very limited.
Well, I mean, a quarter or a third of their state grows it, so.
Right, but it's not like where Chris can just be like, yeah, hey, can I get certified? So it's a lot.
Can I get some Kentucky Blue?
It's a lot more locked down there. I mean, Kentucky has dry state areas anyway, still for alcohol. But anyway, Michigan.
I'm from a dry county.
If anybody doesn't know, because let's face it, we're if they are listening to this in the Midwest, they already should know. Michigan is the cheapest place to get any type of.
Oh, really?
Yeah, cheaper than Illinois and
any
cheaper
type of what? Bat.
What's up?
Cheaper state to get any type of what?
Just
hold on. Chris is transferring to Michigan.
No, I'm just saying, like in the area, it seems as though all of the materials that you might want to buy, just in general, are cheaper than the other states.
You get like GM could sponsor their own
but my cousin, who he can now grow it legally as well, so you can grow it in Ohio as well. So there's a grow component, which
what a pain in the ass that is.
He's had some pretty good harvests so far. So
has he?
Oh, yeah. So he is. So you said he could grow it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, okay, all right.
Well, it's legal there, so he can do it and whatever. But he said when I visited, this was back in the summertime. He'd said that like the local farmer markets, you could actually buy clones and stuff like that.
Really?
So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I told one of my coworkers, Chris, about your fob. Because I was like, listen, man, this is really cool shit, man. Like, I was like, a friend, and he looked at me for a second, and he went, "What kind of lame ass concerts your friend's going to?" It's like that's a good point, but still, it's a cool idea.
I was telling Cindy about your fob, and she goes, "Your daughter has one."
Oh,
I go, really? Okay. She worked. My youngest daughter has a fob, the thing
a weed bait.
Weed bait, yeah.
Hey, Randy, calling him from Vietnam.
I'm assuming.
Good
I'm guessing that's
morning,
what he means.
Vietnam!
Randy in the chat. By the way, welcome Matt K and Jackson Glatfelter, who are also joining us in the chat. So we appreciate it.
Indeed.
Except
Nick, he just leaves.
He just bounces, dude. Like, what's up?
We went to get a couple of brewskis.
A
couple of Miller lattes.
I have already cracked open a second O'Hara's, so I cannot.
I still have the broken glass china.
Nick
the next 45 minutes.
2 Miller lattes on that trip. Well done.
I always have like a row of them here, and I didn't get them out this podcast.
And I if there's anything that I can say that's super positive about weed, is that I don't. And I'm not shaming anybody by saying this, but like I drink dramatically less than I used to, like 10x less. Like I hardly ever drink. Yeah, and that's if there's a better benefit than that. I mean, I don't know why more states don't allow it.
And
it's crazy.
And
but again, it's the money, right? That's the whole reason. It's the money for the. Yeah, from a federal perspective, the alcohol and
the comment from
tobacco industry would never let it happen.
The comment from Sir Ignorant Elton John about it being addictive. Yes, anything can be addictive and habit forming.
Yeah, so is breathing oxygen.
But I will say that
I don't think it's addictive though. I think it's more just Especially if you start doing it at a very young age, it just becomes a habit, like anything else. But it's not addictive. You can quit
anything
weed
is habitual, but I've also been on periods in which I haven't been on weed, and here's
never
the
been
thing.
on a period.
That's true from a biological standpoint, but from a marijuana standpoint, you're cranky, maybe for
cranky.
3 days after you've gone cold turkey or whatever, or you're just not doing it anymore, and then you kind of move on with your life, and that's it. Maybe you miss it a little bit, but for the most part, and ever since I went from smoking to just edible, I feel like I've had even more control over it, because when you go to edible form, you're kind of like, you're already kind of knowing, like, hey, in a half an hour from now, I'm going to be kind of like mellowing out, and I know kind of my vibe. I know my level. I can dose for that. When you're doing one hits, when you're doing bowls, and you're like going back for another one, and you're chasing that dragon.
Yeah.
That is an addictive loop. Been there, done that. But
I can't.
I have a lot more control over my intake, and So
I know I was, for my back pain, I was smoking, but I talked about before. It was making me throw up. I couldn't.
Oh, right.
I was gagging. I was like, I'd be in the garage going, and I'd be throwing up. I'm like going, well, this sucks.
Right.
It's not doing me any good. Then the edibles, but my problem is with the edibles, I've talked about before, is sometimes I get all whacked out, and that's like,
and I think part of that is a dosage and a strain, like how much you're doing, have you eaten, how much have you eaten, caffeine can also speed it up, like, are you, and Chris and I have talked to you about the different, strains. But when I was out in California visiting a friend back in March, and I tried the liquid style of just having a drink, I really enjoyed that. It was kind of the best of both worlds.
The drink one, because I had the drink one here, and it was like, I mean, I a little bit, but not
a little bit, but not too
anybody
much.
Where I was just, I was afraid to go to sleep.
Right. Nobody likes spins, and nobody likes to feel like they're out of control.
No, and it's just, I don't like that. I don't like that feeling where I'm, my mind starts to wander again. You're seeing things on your bed like Chucky, and
you're like,
this is another argument for the legalization of being able to produce these things legitimately too, because there are so many places out there that you can get your gummies from, or there'd be like the gas station for the herbal whatevers, and like the CBDs and this, that, and the other. But when you have a system in place in which it's regulated, and I know regulation may not be the number one thing that everyone in this show loves when it comes to government,
but there's some things that should be regulated.
But like on the side of the package, you have like a breakdown of like what percentage of each thing, and it's like literally exactly what you're getting.
I know that CBDs work for some people. They don't work well for me, so I try to avoid them. And when stuff is clear, it's like, I mean, I remember smoking some ditch ass shag weed back in my 20s and feeling like I was underwater the whole time, and being like, oh yeah, that was probably some kind of indica or something, and I should have just been relaxing and mellowing out and not.
See, I just want to be the stuff I got in Alaska, and was taking on the ship, the boat.
Hang on. That is the episode title.
The stuff I got in Alaska.
The stuff I got in Alaska.
I would take it. I mean, you had the ocean, crashing, as we left the window open, you hear the ocean. But first I was afraid. I go, what happens if I take it and I go overboard? I go, my wife's like, okay.
Well, but then you'd be in a Goldie Hawn movie.
I'd have been dead. But
okay.
I'm on a boat.
But there was I had no side effects. I was, I had to get up and pee every like 2 hours, which I normally do.
Were you the king of the world?
I was king of the world. No, I had the best sleep I've ever had. I've had in the last 50 years.
I had the best sleep. I thought it
was. But whatever it was, like I said, it was one family owned the. Oh, I forget what it was. Skagway.
Yeah,
maybe Ketchikan, Skagway. One of those two places where it was legal, and they wouldn't even let me. I didn't have my license is expired. I had to use my passport, but I didn't have it. So they wouldn't let me in because they couldn't confirm I was 21. I go, come on.
Was it a little town or a big town?
Well, Skagway
Skagway is the little one at the top of the Panhandle, and then Ketchikan's at the bottom of the Panhandle.
Ketchikan. I don't remember which one it was, but it was one of those two, and they're both, in my opinion, they're both small because let's face it.
Well, I mean, Skagway is like 4 streets. It's where people got off the boat to go to the Yukon during the gold rush. That's why people go there.
It might have been Skagway because the people that owned it, there was this.
You keep saying Skagway, and
places I've never heard of ever in my life. I'm fascinated right now.
I'm pretty sure I know what Skagway was in high school, but I think you're talking about a different kind of Skagway.
Yeah, okay. I'm talking about a different kind of Skagway. If you have a chance to go to Alaska on a cruise,
it's a hallway in high school. I guess
go to Alaska because it's beautiful there and it's amazing. But wherever this was, I mean, they had a mansion on top of the hill, but
that's the guy that owned the deal.
He owned it.
He owned
and they owned the thing because he was just it was busy. I mean, and technically you weren't supposed to bring it back on the boat. But I kind of stuffed it in, and they kind of went, "Oh, security, okay, you're good to go."
Yeah, they don't.
I mean, it was one of those things where they kind of looked the other way.
I'm not doing the body cavity on that guy. I'm just
going to tell you. I again, it tasted like it was caramel, like a caramel flavor.
Oh,
It's after I took the first one, I go, all right, every night popped.
Everything's purple behind me.
Everything, it was great. I would. Definitely do it again.
That's interesting that they wouldn't let you take them on the boat because the majority of the time you're in international waters anyhow. So
they said they frowned on it. I don't know what it was, but I brought it back.
We frown on it. We really look down upon it. We're gonna give you a D.
Yeah. You don't get pudding tonight for your dessert.
You don't get pudding, but you're gonna be fucking high. So good luck.
If you have a chance, go to Alaska.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it's been over 20 years since I went, but I liked it. Yeah, it's a good. It's depends on what kind of cruise you want. Like all those Caribbean cruises are for partiers and you just want to get.
I want the Skagway cruise.
I want the Skagway.
You want to be with the Skags.
The Skags, yeah.
Or the Whoreline, whatever.
It is. I mean, it is you go to
Whoreline Industries.
You go up to Glacier Bay and get to see like the
Glacier Bay,
yes. And then
we went to Glacier Bay.
Go all the way up to the bergs, and watch them fall off the side and all that, and then you go into Skagway, and then you come down the Panhandle.
Seeing the glaciers is cool.
It is cool. Yeah, I liked it.
I mean,
you don't realize how big they are.
Nice one, Jack.
To you, I didn't hear it. Sorry.
Well, what was fun was the otters going by. They'd be on the blocks of ice that have broken off, and there'd be like 10 otters on each one, and they're just floating by. You're like going, oh, that's cool.
What's up, guys?
That's good. Where are they going? Where are you going? Is there food down the way? You're missing your family. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because you have the orcas out there.
Yeah.
By the way, one of the best memes I saw was I'm putting together a team, and it was the orcas that that killed the billionaires. Luigi.
Did they have thick eyebrows?
No, I mean it was the photograph from the Wanted thing.
Oh, okay.
It was like I'm putting together a team of all of these people killing billionaires.
I said, is his name really Luigi?
His name is Luigi. Yeah, he's the valedictorian of his school.
Yeah, it comes from a rich family.
Ironically,
but his family had more money than the CEO did.
Yeah. Ironically, the CEO was also valedictorian. So go figure.
So what you're saying is, don't become valedictorian. You're going to kill somebody.
It's like I said earlier.
When you aim too high.
When I said this was class warfare.
He aimed just right.
Really, it's just intelligent warfare. It's valedictorians on valedictorians.
But only a rat shoots someone in the back.
Whore lines. We keep you from getting wet.
Well, speaking of whores, but not going to Alaska, I am going to Vegas in May.
Oh, yeah, you said that. Yeah,
you said that. Yeah, I'm jealous.
Which my last line still works. Whore lines. We keep you from getting wet.
Tickets acquired, airlines booked, and we got concert tickets 2 days ago.
I'm officially.
It's official.
2 beers and
go.
Sorry, I'm listening to Matt. Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't been to Vegas since 2016, I think.
Oh,
I used to go 2-3 times a year.
I think I went in 2016.
Wow.
I think that was my last time too.
Mine's 15, I think, actually. So yeah, it's been a while.
I've never really been proper. Like
never,
not like
yeah.
like I mean,
I'm not really a big
besides
fan.
circus.
That doesn't count.
Well, I mean, go to Caesars and do like the mall. It's in like it's not underground.
I've driven.
Like underground.
Wait. Who goes to Caesars for the mall? Who goes to
I
Vegas
like the
for
mall. It's cool.
Oh my god!
I mean, I go to Caesars for other reasons.
Last time I went,
you're not invited.
We went for a bachelor party that I went to. Last time I went, and we went to the Las Vegas Hotel and Casino. At the time, they had the largest sports book, I think, in the country, or if not anywhere.
Where's this at?
I think at the Hotel Las Vegas or Las Vegas Hotel and Casino. But we went there for Wild Card Weekend.
The Hilton?
Nah, I'll look it up in a second. But
Wild Card Weekend, NFL.
Yeah, I went there for Wild Card Weekend for the NFL, and it was like every fucking instant of every game was there for you to bet on. And it was so much fun, like having all these games happening at the same time and trying to parlay, coin flip with this game and this and cross parlay. It was so much fun, and that
would be fun.
Like you sit,
especially
there,
if I knew if I was. Yeah, go ahead.
It was, but it was probably 100-foot tall, 300-foot wide, like array of displays and stuff, and it was just so awesome to sit there. You'd make a few bucks here at a couple of these games. That the 1 o'clock game, you might make like a couple $100 on it. Then you walk out and you play craps and lose it all again, or double it up and come back in and bet on the 4 o'clock games. And it was just like the best time. And none of us could see straight or walk straight by the time all the games were over. But it was awesome.
I remember when I first went, and it was you start betting on football, and you go there, and all the NFL games are, and you're like going, you can't. It's like you can't concentrate. It's like,
would you call it? Would you say that it was cocaine for the eyes? Sorry.
No, I'm just
not sorry. I'm 2 beers in. I
know, that's why I'm laughing.
But it's fun when you're there with the serious gamblers, though, and they bet $10,000, and they end up losing on a last-second field goal, and you're just like, well, that sucks for you.
Well, the worst is the spread. There was a game recently where
are we going back to the horse thing?
Yeah. See where your mind's at. No. No, it's like when you see a game and the spread's 3 points, and you're like, it's not gonna be that close, and then sure enough, it goes down to the last minute, and it's within 3 points. You're like, you motherfuckers!
You're constantly looking around for that dude who's sitting there calling the sidelines, saying,
"Yeah." They know. I remember we were there, and Bubby Brister, and we get up. Okay, this game's locked for halftime. Let's just go up and get something to eat. And Bubby Brister, for some reason, instead of kneeling down, he threw the ball or something and got interception, ran back for a touchdown. I go, fucking Bubby Brister. Yeah. And we ended up losing like a 16 parlay. We won the other 5, but we lost that one because people go, football's fixed. You go, no. Well, sometimes you have to think.
Oh, absolutely.
Sometimes these guys are getting, I mean, I don't think the whole game is fixed, but I think they get to certain players and say, okay,
absolutely.
you need to make a mistake, or you need to do something, because it was why they were on the 20-yard line with 3 seconds left. Why are you throwing the fucking ball?
I think going back to Bill Burr, I think it was Bill. I know it was a stand-up comedian that was talking about that, how he's talking about the NBA, and he goes, the NBA is fucking rigged. He's like, he's not totally rigged, but it's fucking rigged. He's like, they let him play for a little bit of the first quarter, and then they let it one side run really high up, And then, but then they control that shit in the second quarter. So it's like, it's winning a few points at halftime. And then they keep it like super fucking tight all the way to the last minute. And then they go, okay, now you can win the game. And it's like, yeah, fuck you.
There was an NBA rep that got suspended.
That is the anatomy of a fucking NBA game. That's perfect.
Yeah, you could also there is the other option too in the second half where one team runs it up, but in the fourth they come back and then they even it up at the very, very
people are saying that the downfall of the NFL is going to be gambling because they're built on gambling now.
Right.
And how they're making so much money. And there's just
and how are you going to control those players too?
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You can't tell me that a quarterback comes in and he's got gambling debts. I mean, look at Ohtani. I hate
look at Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. We talked about it earlier. But Ohtani, sure, his friend, his translator, stole $16 million from him, and he didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time he heard about it is when he was walking. He speaks English. He understands English. He was at the meeting, and he goes. They asked him, I didn't know. And when it first came out, he said he transferred the money over to pay the bookie, and that completely changed because baseball doesn't want Ohtani getting in trouble, right? I mean, if Pete Rose would have been called for gambling when he was playing, they wouldn't have said anything. They probably knew. But when he was a manager, nobody comes to see the manager play. Right? So it's just a matter of time before some player comes out in the NFL that it's probably a quarterback or a kicker.
Oh, it could be a fucking kicker or a holder. I me think about that shit.
Yeah.
It's always the holder.
I mean, you see a lot of great kickers messing.
It's always the holder. Like
you see a lot of great kickers messing field goals right now, and it's just like
come on, special teams alone. I'm gonna bet like some wild point that there's gonna be a safety in the end zone in the fourth quarter.
I'm telling you, I agree. It's gonna just a matter of time before some player, and it's gonna rock the NFL.
I always kind of wonder, like, for the Super Bowl, because they always have those like really crazy parlays and stuff like that. You're the singer, right? And there's always a parlay of like how long you're gonna sing. You go look at that over under, and you're like, I'm gonna fucking bet the house.
And for the
cut it off, fuck you.
The Brave made $1 million.
Like for real.
I remember seeing last year there was I saw a picture of these people who snuck into like the rehearsals, like at the Super Bowl.
Oh, really?
And they would sit there and they'd hold up a microphone in there to time how long the performances were going to be. Like it's crazy.
I'm saying, or like the Gatorade. Like
what color Gatorade?
Like I'm just saying, like if you had control over that shit on some level, and you're like at the last second, you're like, nah, we're going green, man. We're going fucking green. Like it'll blow their minds. Come on, let's do it.
One guy bet $1 billion on purple Gatorade. Wow.
And won it. It was like who never fucking knew.
I mean, these guys. I mean, let's face it. Too, organized crime. They don't fuck around. If you don't.
I mean, if you don't deflate the balls.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't fly just right. That stings for Chris right now.
To be fair, they should deflate his microphone.
Okay. What about the Bill Belichick news, by the way? Random.
Oh shit.
North Carolina.
Sorry, you had another thought. Go ahead. You had another thought, Nick.
Me? I was going to go back to Bill Burr just for a second. Like, did you guys watch that? I had never seen that SNL clip I sent to you guys like a couple of days ago. That was hilarious. Did you guys watch it?
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
You sent it to me.
And so basically, I sent it to I think all three of you, but like it's basically he's sitting there. He's a firefighter, and it's like 4 other firefighters, and they're in therapy.
Maybe it was this year, yeah.
And and it's a picture of Wachowski from Monsters Inc. Wearing like a little wedding dress and a thong, and she's like, "What do you see here?" And he's like, very Bill Burr, like, I don't know if I want to answer this. He's like, well, it looks like Mike Wazowski, from Monsters Inc., goes, you just got married, and that ass of his is just swallowing up that thong, you know, and like it just keeps going on, and then it pans over and it's the Warshak, you know, picture. And he's like,
it's just a Rorschach.
The other firefighters are like going, what the hell are you seeing?
I see an apple. I see an apple. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, okay. Everybody's like, let's show you another one. And it just keeps getting worse.
He keeps getting worse and worse. Yeah.
That was funny. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Funny.
Bill Burr's the best.
But did you see Gronkowski and Tom Brady? They were saying before Belichick took the job, they were like, how would he handle recruits? Man, you suck. Why do we want you? Right. We don't want you. They were imitating. I just don't see Bill Belichick. I mean, I know he's dating a co-ed, but it's like, I mean, more power to him. I have no problem.
I just can't see why he'd want to go to North Carolina of all places. You know, I mean,
I don't think they have a
bad program, but they're not a stellar.
No, well, I think he's from North Carolina. I think.
Oh, is he? Okay, that makes sense.
But he's making a ton of money, and he wants to have it where his son can take over after a certain point.
Oh, okay,
that's what it was, and I don't think the NFL wants him.
Probably not. Yeah,
he's 74. He wants control.
You're like, oh well, you're not a bad program, but you're not top.
Yeah, team. UNC. I was like, why would he go to UNC? But he's making money, and I think he does a good job he's on the Manning cast. I don't know if you guys watch the Manning cast on Monday Night Football, but that's more entertaining than the game itself. But yeah, I was shocked he went to UNC. I mean,
did he actually go? I wasn't sure.
Yeah, he's in. He's agreed. It's a 5-year contract, which no way he's going to do 5 years. He's going to be 79 when it's done, or 80.
Well, it'll be nice in that the ACC the ACC is definitely a weak conference when it comes to college football. So if he
is now, yeah,
because I mean, really, you've only had traditionally Miami and Clemson being the fairly decent schools. Florida State from time to time. It's been a good while for Florida State, but if you can bring North Carolina in and actually have them be competitive, then maybe the ACC will turn around.
They said, why would you want to do it? Because you have college football, because that's why Nick Saban retired, because it was too hard with all the
the NIL deals.
Yeah, the NIL was because the player could just say, fuck it, I'm leaving. I want money. And be fair.
Yeah.
They deserve the money, but there's got to be some kind of thing where they have to stay if they.
Yeah, they're gonna have to change the rule to where, because like you already see it, so for example, the head coach at Marshall either quit or got fired. The next day, almost the entire team went to the transfer portal.
Yeah,
and so it's just one of those things where they're going to follow him to whatever school he goes to.
Yeah, it's again, the players deserve the money because the college football is making trillions off that.
Yeah, it's.
So something had to be done.
Can we just get past the fact that this is actually a sport related to schools, because this is just a fucking industry at this point.
What they should do is make it minor league football, and they just run from the colleges and make money that way, because the advantage of the NFL and the NBA is they don't have to pay for the minor league system,
right?
Whereas baseball has to pay.
Right.
You have to draft the players, pay the money, develop.
I mean, that would have been the dream about having the spring football,
right?
But
the problem is the spring league should be during the same time as the NFL, because you play 15, 16 games in the spring league. How fresh are you going to be when the NFL comes?
Sure, no, agreed. But I mean, the idea of it on its infancy, like it was a good idea in the 80s. This idea of having almost kind of like
USFL,
the what was it?
USFL.
Yeah, the USFL. So,
but again, it does. I mean, you look at the NFL; it's just fucking stupid because the Chiefs are playing 3 games in 10 days.
Right.
Which is fucking.
Yeah, that's nuts.
They're playing Christmas Day, and then after that they're saying, okay, that's the 17th. They would have one more game after that. They said, okay, usually they rest their players, but if they rest their players and they still have the number 1 seed, they wouldn't play for almost 30 days.
Wow.
I go, you can't have it. You can't do that. It's. I don't know why the players agree to these Thursday games.
Right.
And all it's just you can't
and it's, I mean, Jack, I mean, like some of the players that agreed to these terms aren't even in the NFL anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so the players that are playing now have to play by the rules set in place by players before them.
The NFL is so greedy that
really?
we got to watch these players. They could have a concussion. Well, you're sending them out there. And I'll be honest, I watched the Thursday games. I watched the football. But it's not fair. At some point, they should say, okay, after 8 weeks, we're not going to have Thursday games. We're not going to,
Well, didn't the Chargers win? Well, you don't watch.
No, they lost. I do watch. I root against. I actually, I'm the exact opposite. I watch them and root against them.
Okay, it's a hate watch. Yeah, that's
right. It's a hate watch.
I didn't know if you were still hate watching.
I'm still hate watch. I watch as many games as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like hate watching the Chargers. But it's just stupid. I mean, I don't know how these players. I mean, NFL, you take such a beating. And you're supposed to come back 4 days later and play. I mean, that's just stupid. There's no way.
And then trying to make the seasons longer. It just, one of the things that I was drawn to the sport was initially the short season. It's like you could watch your teams, like those games. It was like 16 initially, I think. Back when I started watching, I think it was 16 games.
When I started watching, it was 12.
Right. Sure. I mean, it's like rings on a tree, but. The more they add, the more it kind of seems like, well, what are we doing here?
The players they can't make it.
They can't make it that whole time.
No.
I saw a diagram maybe 3 days ago. I should have sent it to you guys where it's talking about like what they want the NFL to be in like the next 10 years or like all the expansion teams. So it'd be like 4 in Europe or 6 in Europe, and then like have a Japanese team and like an Australian team and basically you kind of
about one in San Diego.
Yeah, they still had the Chargers on there. I'm not sure if it was in San Diego or not.
No, we don't want the Chargers.
But they did expand it to more teams in the U.S. too. But it was like, we want to have it be more of a global thing. Fewer.
San Diego would be part of the Australian.
Yeah, the Australian
league. That would be the fuck you to San Diego. It'd be like, we'll give you a team, but you got to play Australia
all the time. Well, I think their idea was like, Europe plays Europe, and then the best team from Europe will be, and then you wouldn't have as many games where you're constantly going, but you break it into like little sub leagues.
See, the problem with going overseas in these other places, like you see the Blue Jays they were trying to get Juan Soto, who was grossly overpaid. But the problem is when you go to if you go to Canada, you have to pay the Canadian tax. You have to pay. If you're living in America, you have to pay the American tax. Plus, you have to pay taxes at every city you go to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just a
don't even get me started about the tariffs. But I do think that this aspect of the NFL, like basically, they got to a point where they're like, we're tapped out on the U.S. market. We have tapped this teat to the maximum capacity right here. So
Taylor Swift comes around, and all of a sudden
they're like, "Oh my gosh,
the biggest moneymaker for the NFL has ever seen."
More than they draft global. That's the next thing. That's the next thing they have.
But look what happened to Kelsey brothers. I mean, isn't it his wife? She has the #1 podcast now. She dethroned Rogan. Rogan. She has the #1 podcast. I mean, all because of what Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who knew? I mean, we all knew Travis Kelce. Did we know Jason Kelce? I mean, I knew of him, but I was like, he's just a center.
Well, who
doesn't watch his feet.
None of you know T Swift the way I know her. So
I know.
So I was in Seattle, as you guys know, last weekend, and that was the
end of the line. We have a commercial break.
That's true.
I saw your private chat.
Thank you. So I was in Seattle. And I did not go. I did not know going into Seattle that was the very last concert of her tour.
She finally done?
I think so, for at least for this leg, or I don't
know. No, it's done. It's done.
The
Eras tour is done, and there was some. She paid out to her crew for the whole tour. She gave them like they all. Yeah, it was like
it was
140.
Almost 200. It was like almost 200 million.
It was like almost in bonuses for. Anyway, go ahead, Nick.
I think they said, I read that yesterday. I think that she generated 2.2 billion just in taxes alone for the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So that's crazy when you think about it. Yeah, but like I guess I was lucky when
That's
I got
fucking
there.
insane, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not sure what day the actual concert was, but I remember when my flight back to Denver, I remembered that it was because like every other person was a Swiftie, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" You know, and I guess because like
he became a Swiftie. Well, not hardcore, but she fell in love with Travis Kelce. She goes, "Wow, he's a good-looking guy." I go, "Yeah."
Well, I guess in my mind, there was a movie that came out in the mid-90s called PCU, Politically Correct University.
Great.
Love that movie. And early in the film, Jon Favreau is going to go to a concert. He's a stoner, deadhead kind of guy.
Didn't you share us a clip?
I think I did, yeah. And I've always gone by that clip my entire life. It's like, you're wearing the T-shirt of the band you're going to go see. Don't be that guy. And I've always been that guy. I never wear the T-shirt of the band I'm going to go see. And so when I see this army of Swifties, just head to toe Swift stuff, I immediately think that like, I get it.
Don't do that.
Don't be that.
I mean, yeah, I do know that like I've gone to concerts, I guess, with my kids, and if they get some of the merch, they put it on, and it's like, and it's just kind of part of it. It's like I'm not gonna boo on their parade, like don't do this.
Well, I never would
like,
boo
it's
it,
like,
but it's just.
Well, you know what you do? You take a picture of them when they get a little older, then you trash them.
Oh, no doubt.
Sure, there you go. You could do that, I guess.
I mean, we all love that Barry Manilow T-shirt you've got, Jack, but you know.
I'm trying to think of a Barry Manilow song. I can't think of it.
Actually,
Hey,
that's a versus we've never
rocked
done
that. I rocked that with Barry Manilow.
Barry Manilow songs. Like we should.
Who didn't rock that with Barry Manilow?
Go ahead, Nick.
I actually thought of you guys not too long ago. I think it was on HBO or somewhere. There's a new documentary on yacht rock.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And I thought of you guys like, we had a whole conversation about yacht rock. And Jack's like, what's yacht rock? And
I've already asked. I
need to
don't
watch
remember
that.
what
I see.
rock is.
I saw a meme that like basically it was just like it was called folk rock because at the time it was folk rock. It was called punk rock because at the time it was deemed punk rock.
Matt Tree showed up and he said it's a lot of fun, the documentary.
The yacht rock
shows
doc
up
is
the right
fun.
times though. Like he's the guy that just appears when you need him.
I think he was he lurking though? Was he?
I like where they break down what is yacht and what is not.
What is not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
what is it?
It's like I guess the go
Steely Dan.
Basically all of Michael McDonald's entire career.
Right.
Is yacht
Yes.
rock.
They start playing Michael McDonald immediately, and you're like, okay. Jesus, that does not sound like Michael McDonald.
No, it's Michael. He eats the mic.
It sounded like you murdered a dog named Mike.
Murdered a dog.
Yes, Trees. Yacht or not?
Yeah, like I liked that they talked about Hall and Oates, and they were saying like, you know, look at I forget what song it is, but they talk about that where it's like
she's a man eater.
Not man eater. It could have been man eater. I don't think it was man eater, but like they were talking about how like this riff could be considered yacht rock, but you're also a little too much into pop to be full yacht rock, and you're like, oh yeah, I can see that, you know. But
I think it's funny in the Hall and Oates song where I'll have to look it up, but at some point in the song they break it down and they say, well, listen to this.
Yeah, kiss on my
bump,
lips.
bump.
Good job, man.
Bump, bump. Bump, bump. And I'm like, that is not a really cool guitar. Like,
and now they hate each other.
Anyway.
They're suing each other.
Well, yeah, it's because
That's
Oates wanted to sell his half of the business, and that's what it was. It's because Hall was like, dude, we're a team and we're a business together. You can't sell half your business to some random guy, and then I have to work with this fucking asshole.
That would suck.
Yeah,
that's why he sued him. Yeah.
I'm looking up Barry Manilow's song, so just.
Well, listen to this. It's "You Making My Dreams Come True." You making my dreams. Anyway, at some point No, I'm saying the song that I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Listen.
I don't know.
I mean, I know Matt.
Hall Notes or we doing
Hall Notes slaps though.
They do.
They really do. Yeah.
They are awesome. I'm not listening to some Hall Notes.
Not on this podcast.
I was shocked they were in the Hall of Fame. I was like,
"You're rich, but you know it don't matter anyway."
Mm-hmm. There were some of the early music that I remember growing up. So
1,000%. Like I feel so connected to it as a kid.
Like radio music that you heard growing up, like as a kid.
In the backseat of mom and dad's car, listen to music.
It was all
totally.
The front seat driving the car.
Oh, your mic switched.
Your mic.
Jack.
Your mic's.
You sound like
an old man. Sound like old man Jack. Vintage Jack. We have Vintage Jack with us.
Is that better?
Nope.
You sound like you're
not really.
No, I mean I did like the documentary.
Talk
Woman
over there.
By the way, "Woman" by John Lennon was one of those songs that I remember hearing as a kid. It's like it's not really so much about the lyrics; it was just like the feeling or the vibe of that song.
Better.
Or Rosanna
by
you
say better. You have to keep talking.
Rosanna by Toto.
I think you're good.
And that song by the Eurythmics,
Sweet Dreams.
Sweet Dreams.
Oh my gosh, like that song, like it just was like such like a powerful song that like when you heard that.
I heard Annie Lennox recently talking about that, or at least I recently saw whatever she was talking about that. It said, they had released their first record. It was complete bomb. And that they actually, I was so upset and I was so mad that I thought, that's it. I'm just going to be out. I'm not going to do anything anymore. And she had heard the guy in the Eurythmics playing the riff of that on the keyboard, that whatever, and she was, it just clicked. It was just one of those moments where everything, and I just went in there and wrote the lyrics. I wrote my parts to it, and then after that it just took off.
Yeah,
that song is ridiculous. Like,
right?
Like it is one of the most complex like songs of like that generation. I mean,
would it have made it without MTV though?
No,
yes,
I think so.
Absolutely.
I think the groove of that record would have made it no matter what.
I don't think so.
No, that song, I'm telling you, because I didn't have MTV growing up, and I remember hearing that song again on the radio, and then later in the roller rink, because you're out there, like, because it's your class has to go to
some core memories just firing right now.
And
I remember when I was at the roller
and that
rink.
song would come on. I mean, I didn't have cable. It didn't.
But why was it? But why was it on in the first place? Because it was popular on MTV.
I don't know. I still say the song itself is strong enough that it doesn't need the music video. I do agree that there are certain songs, but "Sweet Dreams" is not one of them. And you can take that to the fucking bank.
Well, I'm telling you right now, I heard it. I first saw it on MTV because I lived in the big city and we had cable.
Fancy ass people from California,
with your cable,
my small town living in Ohio,
Miami Vice jackets.
Yeah, like we didn't all live the fast.
I had the hair.
Phil Collins lifestyle. We were all just kind of striving along in our like
Phil Collins.
Trucks.
How did we get to Phil Collins?
Listening to Johnny Cougar, thinking.
Because we all know so is Krista. Like, we all know that you're a Phil Collins guy over Peter Gabriel.
Ooh, wow, is that a versus? Is that a thing?
Probably not.
Like, was that a rivalry between them?
Fuck.
I mean, there was a Phil Collins song that was in it was in Miami Vice. I
never really thought about it. I mean, because of the whole Genesis thing, you mean?
Yeah, it's just so what made me think of that was, there's a show that someone recommended to me not one of you guys, but somebody recommended it to me from the podcast, saying like, "Hey,
thank you, Matt Treist, for backing me up."
Am I supposed to apologize for living in a state that had cable? I wasn't we weren't a flyover state. I'm sorry. I'm not going to apologize for it.
Sure. Yeah, we were backwater. Mm-hmm. My small town city in the 80s was actually still a decade behind. So it was like
my city wasn't about deliverance. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not going to apologize.
That's further south where Nick was from. But anyway, go ahead.
North Georgia. Yeah, but there's a sitcom I watched, and I didn't like it at all. But there's one scene in it that I did think was awesome, and it's where this guy, the main character, is dating this new first date, and she's wearing a Genesis T-shirt. and he's someone like us or like me in particular, in that when he sees the T-shirt, he can't let it go, and so he just kind of goes like, "All right, so who's your favorite, Phil Collins or Peter Gabriel?" And she just kind of goes, "I like them both," and he's like, "No, you have to pick." Like, he just can't let it go. He's like, "No."
Dude, I do like them both.
In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel is on another fucking dimension. Mm-hmm. Like the whole like Annie Lennox Eurythmics with Sweet Dreams kind of
wouldn't have been popular without MTV.
Dude,
okay,
that song
Sledgehammer, yes, maybe. But that whole album though of like I had that album. It was one of the first like cassettes that I was given as a kid, and I remember thinking like, some of these
where they didn't allow dancing, right?
Some of these songs were too slow or I didn't get, but I'd still listen to, and those were like kind of woven in there, and eventually like those songs are like Red Rain. You're like, I didn't hear that play on the radio, but I heard it on my cassette, and that song is so. Like
Alex's favorite,
anyway.
My grandson Alex's favorite, one of his favorite songs years ago was Red Rain, and he kept playing it. And my grandson Hayden had to go to sleep with that for like 2 years. Red Rain is coming down. I'm not going. I mean, that's how he went to sleep. He had it on a loop. He just listened to it on a loop. Red Rain. And I'm like going, oh my God! And we
get to the next song.
There's a good song after that. No, we're not allowed to. No, it was Red Rain. Red Rain.
Is this what hell looks like? Actually,
this is the thing though. You got to get to the next song because eventually you got to get to.
You try to convince a child to go to the next song. You can't do it.
Yeah.
If it was my own kid, I'd be like, "Fuck it, we're going to the next song." Grandkid, all right, fine. We'll
I don't know if I could really choose between Phil Collins and Peter Gabriel. It's not like like.
That's a tough choice.
I'm going Mike and the Mechanics.
Hard. You need a miracle.
Matt Kay brings up.
All I need is a miracle.
All we need is you, Jack.
I know.
Yes, Matt Kay. Go ahead.
I was never a huge Marilyn Manson fan, but I do remember when he did do the cover of Sweet Dreams in '95 or '96.
I'm not a Marilyn. He's a.
Well, it was such a droney but really good cover of the song.
Very, very good.
It was.
Don't listen to him. Sorry, I can't. He's a piece of shit.
That's fine. He can be a piece of shit.
I don't know.
So, well, for some of the things that have come out about him, yeah.
Oh, okay. I quit listening to him in the mid '90s, so I don't know.
Exactly. I always give
the girl that was on
Wood.
Yeah. What she told about it. I mean, Jesus Christ.
What? Which one?
His girlfriend that was an actress.
What's that world?
Westworld.
Yeah.
Rachel Evan Wood.
Rachel Evan Wood. Yeah, she. Oh my.
They dated for quite a while. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Real piece of shit.
Huh.
Well, a lot of these people are like going, "Uh-oh." You had Jay-Z, the thing coming out. I mean, a lot of these people are because it's on film. It's it's going to be
even I think like 3 men came out today claiming that P. Diddy raped them too.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, he has tapes of this, and hopefully, eventually, we get the list of Epstein's list, and that's all released because these people need to be exposed and thrown in jail or whatever because they're pieces of shit. But if we want to change subjects, on Netflix,
not a bad time to do that, Jack.
Yeah. The Netflix, The Jackal. Tried to watch The Jackal. Sunday night I watched the first 2 episodes. I just couldn't get into it.
You mean the movie?
No, it's a TV show.
Great fucking movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the TV show, it's just so it's like I just couldn't get into it. It was so slow and so boring.
I haven't even heard of it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's I don't know who the actor is.
Well, I mean, you're not selling it, so
Can we talk about the Jackal movie for a hot second?
Sure.
That was a fucking phenomenal movie. That was Bruce Willis, right?
Bruce Willis, yeah.
Yeah.
And Jack Black had a
guy's arm blown off.
Bit part in his arm getting blown off. That movie was fucking outstanding.
All right, that was a good movie.
Like that movie, and I think they might have been the same time frame ish. They kind of like maybe they're competitive movies. What's it? Shit. Secret Service. Clint Eastwood.
Oh, In the Line of Fire.
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 Great movie.
Like I feel like those movies were right around the same time ish, at least in that's how they play out in my brain. But those movies are fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Is it Day of the Jackal? Whatever.
No, it's just the Jackal.
The Jackal.
The movie.
Jackal.
Yeah. In the Line of Fire.
The Line of Fire is a great one because
what's funny, Chris, about In the Line of Fire is that the building at the very end of that movie where he actually tries to kill the president, that building was one building over from where I worked in L.A. And I never thought about it until one day I started walking towards that building to get lunch because inside of it's a huge cafeteria area. And I went, where did I know this fucking building from? And I was like, oh shit. Like that's
awesome.
Well, what makes that movie is the what's his name? The assassin. What's his name?
John Malkovich.
John Malkovich. He makes the movie.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He brings it no matter what.
I mean, he coats the with a plastic gun like that, and he's just sitting over like the guy who kills him. And he goes, He just he plays crazy really well, and the whole thing where he's like, when you weren't able to save the president, and the whole it's a great movie. If you haven't seen it.
Well, like even the movie, going back to even Bruce Willis films, another Bruce Willis, like Red and then Red 2.
Yeah.
John Malkovich is what makes that fucking movie.
Yes.
They're so good. I mean, it's an all-star cast, but it's
Yes. And the same thing with the other movie too. In the Line of Fire. What's the guy's name? He's got a show on like the TV Food Network.
Oh, he's FBI. Don.
What the fuck's his name?
Come on, Matt Priest. Donovan, something.
God, I can't think of his goddamn name. The Italian dude.
Oh, the Italian dude, not the guy that dies.
Assassin.
The assassin, John Malkovich.
John Malkovich was the assassin.
In the line, I'm sorry, the Jackal.
The Jackal. Okay.
Okay. I wasn't sure what you guys.
Now you've thrown me completely off. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought Luigi
what the fuck was
the
his
assassin.
Name? Well. I need IMDb. God, I've got really far without using it tonight.
All right, I'll find here in 2 seconds. You got Richard Gere.
Okay.
Richard Gere's in the Jackal?
Yeah.
Really?
Bruce Willis, Richard Gere.
The Jackal is inside of him.
Jack Black.
That's Bruce Willis. Who the fuck am I thinking of?
I don't know who you're thinking of.
Andy Garcia.
Because Bruce Willis is the bad guy in the Jackal.
Oh, wait a minute.
You're thinking of another movie.
I thought he was dead the whole time.
I'm thinking of the Pelican Brief.
Oh,
Stanley Tucci.
Stanley Tucci, yeah.
Pelican Brief. So you're way off.
Yep. I just fucking brain farted those three movies together. So hard.
Pelican Brief's good too, though.
Wow. I just watched Red 1 tonight.
Oh, I kind of wanted to see it, but it's got terrible reviews, so I didn't.
You know what? Fuck the reviews. Fuck the haters. Here's what I'm going to say about this. It's on Prime. If you already have Prime, it's a fun, just go into it knowing that it's a fun, lighthearted movie, but it does stay true to a lot of like the different mythologies. And so it pulls from some of kind of like some traditions. It's kind of like Santa Claus meets a little bit of Star Wars, a little bit of Avengers, a little bit of it's got some action in it. And it's got some humor, like what you're going to get, but it's also it goes a little because it's got Krampus in it, so sorry, light spoilers, but you're getting an action film with The Rock and Chris Evans, yeah, Captain America,
yeah,
and I'm trying to think of the other guy that plays Santa.
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons.
Would you say it has Big Nick energy?
As big as this show? I don't think so.
No.
Nothing can match your Big Nick energy. But as far as Saint Nick energy, it is. I think it's a fun. I mean, come on. What are we hating on about this fucking film? We have action. We have a little bit of sci-fi thrown in there.
So does Santa Claus get kidnapped? Is that
it's an action thing where it kind of explains how Santa can make some of this shit happen.
Oh.
So it's kind of like
don't we already have that with the Santa Claus with Tim Allen?
That's why I'm saying it's kind of like the Santa Claus.
The Santa Claus movies are classic,
right? Yeah. That's why I'm saying it's kind of like Santa Claus
without
thrown in with like it's the equation. It's the parentheses with Star Wars times, like some Avengers shit, gadgetry, and like kind of some shit, sci-fi. So that stuff's kind of cool. My family, we watched it tonight. My wife was somewhat excited about. She likes to try out different Christmas movies. She also enjoyed. the Netflix movie, which I came in on the last bit of, which has Lindsay Lohan, and it's on Netflix right now, called Secrets. Everyone's something secrets. No one's secrets. I don't know.
It's definitely no one's secret.
The one and only secret. The other someone's secrets. Fucking what am I talking about?
Nobody knows. Randy's going to. He's flying to Da Nang. Viva Da Nang! Viva Da Nang!
Actually,
Da Nang, Da Nang,
you remember was it last year when was it Violent Nights came out? Was that last year or was that 2 years ago?
Red one isn't as violent as that. It doesn't go as hard as like, let's say, Wolverine and Deadpool, which that was like the last to see
holiday movie that was halfully decent that's come out in a long time.
Didn't I say that like a couple weeks back? It's like we haven't had a everyone that accepts this as a classic Christmas film since like Elf, and it's like 20 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
I think a Christmas classic has to build over time because it kind of has to build into your kind of rewatch. Like, oh, I like that one. Let's watch that one again, right? And then
because a lot of them didn't do well in the box office.
Correct. I mean, even A Christmas Story didn't do well. So Christmas fuck Story, the haters on this.
I also think that A Wonderful Life didn't do really well.
No, it didn't.
Yeah. Right. And
so
Treese,
it's just like
except they kept playing it every year. We had to watch it.
As Treese is pointing out, Klaus on Netflix is really good.
Klaus.
Yes. I've watched Klaus. I think it's
been out.
I think it's been out for more than 2 years now because it's been on our family rotation now. We kind of checked it out a couple years ago and we liked it.
Show or movie?
It's a movie, and but it's worth it. It's like put it on your. It kind of tells the myth or the story of Santa Claus in kind of a unique, kind of fun way, and the animation is good. So
cool.
I
it's like Santa Claus is coming to town type thing.
No, I can pull it up here on Netflix just to kind of show you what
Did y'all ever watch Krampus?
I
don't think I did.
The horror movie?
It's a horror movie. Yeah, it's kind of a mild horror film, but it is a horror film. Yeah.
It's like the guy Leprechaun of Christmas.
Yeah, it's with the guy from Parks and Rec, the one that's also in Severance now.
Oh, Scott. Something.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the whole point because Krampus is.
By the way, J.K. Simmons plays Klaus.
Will Sasso
in Klaus. He also plays J.K. Simmons plays Santa Claus in the new movie Red One.
So he's got a type.
Oh, he's fucking Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald's in it.
Shit.
Yes. So this movie came out. Klaus came out in 2019. So it's been out for a while.
Thank you.
So maybe we watched it back in 2020. That would make sense.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, Klaus. It's on Netflix.
Thank you, Matthew.
Definitely worth it.
Scott. Or I'm sorry, Adam Scott.
5 years also with J.K. Simmons. Thanks.
Yeah. I mean the movie Krampus is it's basically a.
Do you want me to bring that up on IMDb?
That Chris is done.
It's but it's traditional. It's that traditional Christmas story to where like the kid wishes something for something bad, and then it happens, and he regrets it, and then it all goes back to normal. But it definitely is a little bit
Which
more.
Which one's this?
Krampus.
Home Alone.
Oh, Krampus. Home Alone.
Oh, I
wish I was all alone.
I wanted to run a theory by you guys. Do you think that what's his name? The guy that wrote Home Alone.
John Hughes.
John Hughes. Do you think John Hughes was just watching Die Hard and went, "What if I rewrote Die Hard but with a kid?"
Yeah,
you know
that's
what?
so funny.
That's possible. That's possible.
Yeah.
The other thing
That's
that
really funny.
I saw a woman who
Yippee-ki-yay,
had just
motherfucker.
I saw a woman who had just watched
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation for the first time, and she coined the term. I hadn't heard this before. She said she's watching it. She was like, "This is like self-inflicted Home Alone." She's watching the guy, and she'd never seen National Lampoon's before. She was like, you know, is very funny, but she was like, self-inflicted Home Alone. And I was like, yeah, it is kind of like that, which of course is John Hughes, but before, and it's not a John Hughes film, but he wrote the script, I think, or he had some connection on the Christmas Vacation.
I read
I have to go to the trivia, and I hope it's not two beers drunk Matt saying this shit. Go ahead.
I read a random comment on Facebook the other day about Christmas Vacation, which I love Christmas Vacation. Who can't not love Christmas Vacation? But
phenomenal movie.
It's not my favorite vacation.
The comment made sense though. It's like, you know what? I don't feel sorry for the Griswolds. Anyone who brings their family 10 days before fucking Christmas, that's on you.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Like, to be fair, the other his cousin, what's
Cousin Eddie?
Cousin Eddie.
They just show up, don't they?
Yeah,
right, yeah, they weren't invited.
Shitter's full, man.
Yeah, they weren't invited. Nobody asked them to show up.
Yeah.
Dude, there are so many unbelievably great moments in that movie.
There are so many quotes from that I say all the time.
All the time.
Randomly, I'll be like, "Don't throw me down, Clark."
Or like,
it's a beaut all the time.
It's a beaut.
I can't. It always bothers me when people don't get it too, because like I can't tell how many times someone has said something stupid to me, and I'll go, "You serious, Clark?" You know, and like no one will ever. I'm like, do you not get that? Like, come on.
But don't you think everyone says something stupid to you?
That's true.
I love the part where he thanks his dad and he says, "You taught me everything. You taught me everything I need to know about exterior illumination."
Right.
You know, it's like, what?
But is it better than the original?
In some ways,
me,
yes.
it is.
Yeah. I definitely watch it more than the original.
I saw Christmas before I saw original.
Really?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm sorry.
Also, it doesn't have the nudity, so you don't have to like worry about watching it.
He ties the dog around the bumper.
Yeah.
I'll be trying to keep up with you.
I mean, I agree. There are some humorous things about the original Vacation, and it's not. But Christmas Vacation, because of the holiday of watching like stuff again and again, even if you miss a couple of years, you'll come back around to this movie at some point.
No, I love it. It's a great movie, but I would take the original Vacation first.
Yeah, true. Matt Treist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. What Matt said in the chat was also a huge part of that movie hinges on Clark thinking he could get a Christmas bonus big enough to install a pool, which is insane by today's standards.
Correct.
It's a different time.
And he
completely.
had insurance.
I'm sure he did have insurance and dental.
He had to.
And vision.
He's working on the roof like that, and
Yeah.
Well, that's what we've definitely talked about that with Home Alone. Is that when you're a kid, you love Home Alone just for the movie. It's like, but then as you get older, you start going, "What the fuck did his dad do for a living to where he could afford that house and then fly the entire family to Paris?" It's like, what did he do? Like,
I even remember at the time watching it and being like, "Who's going to Paris for fucking Christmas? Like the best we get is like, a pair of jeans, a sweater, and a toy,
and no cable."
And then now, especially like the kid bought milk, Army Men, all that shit for $19.75, and you're like, no way,
because you had a coupon for that fucking OJ, man.
Yeah, the OJ.
You gotta clip that shit.
I have watched that movie so many fucking times, and it's now becoming one of my kids' favorites, holiday movies. So it's like I think Home Alone has become generational. I don't think Elf has, though.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a different type of comedy.
Totally
more of an angry comedy.
Yeah. I mean, my
but those are arguably the two of the most recent. My wife really loves Elf, and so she plays that
more often for whatever reason. So you know, and I don't. It's not my favorite.
Yeah,
has some heart at the end though.
It does. It has it has heart, and it has some funny moments. It moves. If you watch it, as I have enough times, it continually moves. You know, Buddy is moving through the world constantly, so he's not really in one place. It's like he's it's this, and then this, and then this setting, and then this setting, and then it's kind of towards the end. So,
the older that movie gets, though, Elf, the more. You know, when other cast members talk about
the DNA results that fast. Come on.
Well, I mean, it's things like Jon Favreau and Will Ferrell hated each other the entire thing. That's why there never will be an Elf 2.
Right.
And
the James Caan
and James Caan. Yeah, I didn't know that until a couple years ago. That James Caan,
but he also didn't get it. He did not get along with Will Ferrell.
But he did. But he does say though, he after he watched the movie, during filming, he couldn't stand him. He's like. Who's because James Caan was more a serious actor. He didn't understand Ferrell's comedy, but when he said he saw the movie, he goes, "Okay, I was wrong. It worked because of Will Ferrell." Just want to throw that out
there. I know not to celebrities being celebrities or whatever, but Will and Harper, which I did also watch on Netflix, by the way. It's really good kind of documentary about Will and his friendship with Harper, who transitioned. So it's a really
it's them traveling, right?
Yeah, it's a documentary of them traveling across the country. So it's fun. So it's a nice lighthearted. It's not holiday, unrelated to Elf and what have you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
We should take one more commercial break.
Okay, throw it in there. Throw it on the bonfire.
And we should probably let this show burn with that bonfire.
Probably.
It is kind of late. It's like
it is. We've gone longer than usual, but we had a lot to say, and we didn't even talk about a lot of.
Wasn't quick enough.
we didn't talk about TV shows as much.
I did.
I don't think I've really watched anything new recently.
Silo.
Other stuff we've talked about, like Silo, Skeleton Crew, and Shrinking.
Shrinking.
I am pissed though because I've been watching the Longmire. I'm enjoying it, taking my time with it. I said, okay, I'm really enjoying this show. Just taking my time with it. Oh no, it's being kicked off Netflix on the 31st. So now I have to watch more. I've been watching like 1 or 2 episodes a day, maybe at the most. Because when I enjoy a show, I don't like to
right. Exactly. Yeah.
And I go, oh, now I have to fucking binge it. Fucking pain in the ass.
Matt Treese recommended a good porno for Christmas.
Hundreds of Beavers is a silly, fun movie. So he said that if you're looking for a winter-related movie. Chris, have you checked out Shrinking? Have you watched that yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, this next episode was good.
Yeah, I mean, season 2 has been really, really strong. I know season 1, it's spotty, I would say.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of finding its footing, but stick with it. As I think Treese maybe had mentioned, it scratches that Ted Lasso itch.
Yeah, it does.
And I think one of the executive producers is Bill Lawrence, who also did Detroiters, as well as Ted Lasso. And then the writer that plays...
Formerly known as Prince.
The writer that plays Roy Kent. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on...
He looks so weird, clean-shaven.
But he is one of the writers on Shrinking. So... And it's got Harrison Ford. So
he did a really good job this episode, too.
Brett Goldstein.
Yeah.
Hey,
Brett Goldstein, thank you.
Back with Harrison Ford.
Thank you. Brett Goldstein.
Anyway. Well, we got to see in this current episode, I'm not going to spoil it at all, but you got to see a very rare moment for Harrison Ford. Like he rarely shows vulnerability, and he actually showed for just a few seconds a little bit of a vulnerable side to Harrison Ford.
Yes.
Well, his character anyhow.
Doesn't he show that in Witness?
I just you really need to watch. You really need to watch.
I know. I gotta watch it.
I mean, because it to see his character, and yes, he I think to Nick's point, sometimes his character, not his character, but the actor Harrison Ford can feel kind of like an onion, where sometimes you're not really getting deeper. But and there was a really funny moment in this most recent episode, Nick, where not only is he vulnerable, but it's hilarious when he's kind of being passionate about something. And he's telling a certain character, like, basically, like, he's kind of giving the dad vibes, protecting a certain character.
Right. Oh, yeah, I remember.
So really, really loved that moment. So, and Miami Mike agrees. Yes, Shrinking was really good this season.
I was sold till Miami Mike said something.
There's two episodes left of this season, the last episode. So good time to binge it.
I know, like I guess because now I've kind of got used to 10 episodes being a season for most things, and like all of a sudden it ended. It's like, oh, you got another next week. I'm like, fuck, are we getting bonus episodes? Like, yeah, I just wasn't expecting it to go more than 10.
Yeah, I mean, although there were some kind of major moments in this, it didn't feel like kind of a season ender.
No, it didn't. But you should never know with stuff. And then, like I said, Jackie, and once you finish Longmire, watch that 3-part.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah,
that one could have benefited from another episode. I felt
because I started watching Spartacus again, and I go, well, now I got to put Spartacus on hold because I got to finish
the shows you rewatch without even starting new stuff.
Yeah. So in about 6 weeks, I think we're beginning. No, less than maybe 5 weeks. We're gonna be getting Severance back.
Yeah, a couple of good things coming out at the beginning of the year. Let me open up my list here. Not many, but you have season 2 of what's that show called? The where they kill each other in Korea or Japan or
Squid Game.
Squid Game, yeah, Squid Game season 2 will be out soon.
Will it be as good as the first one?
I doubt it.
You can't live up to that expectation.
That was just such a out of the blue type thing. So
you get Squid Game December 26th, you got Mythic Quest January 29th, and you got the last season of Cobra Kai on February 13th. So
I hope they continue Cobra Kai. I'm addicted to it.
I think he was. Yeah. Anyway,
probably kid crying or something. But
I just assumed you.
Or it could be bio break. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. So why don't we wrap this up?
We should wrap it up.
Are we coming back next week?
That's what I was wanting to know because I thought you had to leave, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt I will be because I'll be gone. I won't be back here until January 5th. So like I'll basically be gone for 3 weeks, and I'm not lugging all my shit. So.
Well, if Chris, Jack, and I can podcast in between, then I'm sure we will at some point. So
as long as one of y'all sings a Christmas carol,
it's beginning to look a lot like Easter.
I think Jack, you should sing "Frosty the Snowman" because I know you love that one.
I hate Frosty the Snowman. Fucking. It's not his hat. I'm sorry.
It is his hat. His hat's what makes him special.
It's not his hat, though. He stole it.
Yeah, exactly. It's the magician's hat.
Magician's hat. It's not his fucking hat.
Welcome back to say goodbye, Chris.
No, I was listening. I put it in the private chat. I have had to piss so fucking bad for the last.
Yeah, I read as you. That's why I realized you were pissing.
I'm sorry. I took my piss break in the middle.
But it's to be recognized though, because you ever have those pisses that you're like, fuck, that was a great piss. That was one of the top 5 pisses of 2024 for me.
I had one on a plane years ago. It was on Southwest Airlines flight to Vegas. And
he's still post-coital and you're dunking on him. Okay, let him just kind of. He needs to still say
Jack. Oh, I thought you froze.
I was listening.
Oh yeah. You're he just said it was one of the best of 2024.
Oh, he threw out the big words. 2 beers in.
Oh my god. Anyway, go ahead. We should end this though.
Well,
I know you want to talk about your pisses, but whoever's.
It's just one of those things where you have to piss and you can't get up to pee.
And
it's like, there's a line. Come on, I'm gonna pee my pants.
So I've been reading this book that Matthew McConaughey wrote called Green Lights because a friend recommended it to me, and it's kind of a memoir autobiography, but it's not. It's more about like
by Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, and it's really good. Like I didn't think it would be good.
It talks about how he grew his hair back.
Well, it's more about the because he breaks it down very early about what he means by green lights. It's like those moments in your life that require zero effort, require nothing, and it's just like green light, you know. And then like whereas in a red light, we all know what a red light is. It's something that completely stops you mid tracks in life and all this. And
all right.
Yeah, and he actually gets into that too. Like
it's
it's amazing how well he turned out considering how fucked up his parents are. It's like, damn. And like he's in that just talking about pissing, that's one of the things he talks about where like
those are called flashing yellow lights.
His dad was just when you think of like 1950s like masculine man, that's what his dad was.
Okay.
And he says like there's this story where his dad would go hang out with his buddies and they would just get pissed drunk and they would call it pissing over your head. And what they would do is that they would mark like on this wall like how tall you were, and you would try to piss above the line where this person's height was.
I've done that before.
Yeah. And he said basically he was gambling with this guy because he wanted to get one of his brothers a dirt bike for Christmas, but he couldn't afford it. So he bet that his son could piss over the tallest guy's head, you know, and the guy was like, bet. And he drove 115 miles to go pick up his son in the middle of the night. And Rio was like, don't piss, don't pee the whole time. And then and it's like this whole, like, he's got so many stories. It actually is a good book. Yeah.
He's an interesting guy.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
I once pissed over a Jeep.
Wow. Huh?
That should be on your tombstone.
Over the hood.
You pissed over the hood. That's not
over the top. No, over the hood of the
I thought it was over the top.
Didn't have this on my bingo card for tonight. So
I've got some pissectory.
I pee without even getting out of my seat.
Yeah, this is the place where we fucking end the show because it's not going to get any better.
I've got to pee too, so.
Oh, is that what you're doing over there? You're doing your pee dance? Oh, honey bear.
I can wait till it's over, but the all right story is pretty good too.
Yeah, let's get to it so that Jack can piss his pants. Or he can just urinate into that cup. Anyway, thanks for joining us. I don't know if this is our last show of 2024. You could say that it took the piss out of us.
Over the Hood seems like a good title for the episodes.
Over the Hood.
No, what was the other one we had?
I can't
recall. That was like 2
that
hours
stuff
ago.
I got in Alaska.
Yeah, that stuff I got in Alaska.
That stuff I got in Alaska.
Man, it has been a long episode. We got to fucking.
It has. Let's pull this puppy over. Thanks for everybody though that joined us live. We appreciate it. It kind of ebbed and flowed the number of people that we had. But thanks also to the patrons that make this show possible. I'd like to thank those patrons. Maggie the Magnificent.
No emails?
Nope, no emails.
Okay.
I was going to get to that. Joanne with the plan. Eckhart Richter. And Ed, the letter carrier that was going to say, if you want to send us an email, send it to rcadcast@gmail.com.
Gmail.com.
Nick, are there any emails?
There is an email. It's just a joke, so it's a quick one.
Okay.
Is it from
That's
Randy?
what she said.
It's from Randy.
All right. Viva da dang. Viva da dang.
Why can't Miss Piggy count to 70?
Why?
Because at 69, she gets a frog in her throat.
Well,
I didn't see that one coming.
Oh,
that is actually what Miss Piggy said. Anyway, thank you, everyone. That joined us.
Tastes like chicken.
No, thank you, Randy. But see you, I guess, later. If we do have a show, subscribe to us on Ramblecast After Dark on YouTube, and you'll get a notification, or jump over to the Jay and Jack group on Facebook, become a member, and you'll get notified there too. So,
I mean, I don't think we could end the show any better than that because that was fucking hysterical.
Randy, that was a great one, Randy.
And to that point, Miami Mike
Randy crossed the line today of scrimmage. He went from like his tasteful, like daddish jokes to the frog in your throat.
Frog in your throat.
This is when Randy took a fucking turn. Jokes.
And to that point, Miami Mike says 1 in a million tadpoles. Thanks.
We might as well let it go.